In a highly charged atmosphere, Prime Minister's questions began with another major body blow for Boris Johnson. News one of his MPs, Christian Wakeford, had defected to the opposition party. This following morning, newspaper reports of a widening plot to oust Johnson by members of his own party. Jokes at the Prime Minister's expense followed.
I see the very noise. I'm sure the Chief Whip has told them to bring their own booze.
Salvo after salvo.
Nobody told the Prime Minister he was breaking his own rules. Absolutely pathetic.
If he had any shred of compassion for all those out there who've suffered through this, he'd go.
MPs clamouring for explanations from Johnson about the increasing catalogue of rule-breaking parties that took place under his watch when the country was deep in lockdown. But the Prime Minister seemed energised, fighting tooth and nail for his party and his job.
When the history of this pandemic comes to be written, and the history of the Labour Party comes to be written, and believe me, they are history and will remain history, Mr. Speaker, it will show that we delivered while they dithered, and we vaccinated while they vacillated, Mr. Speaker. I am intensely proud of what this government has done.
And call after call for Johnson to resign was met with the same message: to reserve judgment and wait for the results of the inquiry into a growing list of rule-breaking. But it's voices from his own party that could do the most damage to his political future. MP David Davis wants the Theresa May government's chief Brexit negotiator delivering this surgical strike.
Like many on these benches, I've spent weeks and months defending the Prime Minister against often angry constituents. But I expect my leaders to shoulder the responsibility for the actions they take. Yesterday, he did the opposite of that. So I'll remind him of a quotation altogether too familiar to him of Leo Amery to Neville Chamberlain. You have sat there too long for all the good you have done. In the name of God, go.
Despite the full force of Bram Boris being on show in Parliament, this was another bruising day for the Prime Minister. There's seemingly no escaping the growing anger from within the Conservative Party, and with the results of the potentially damning inquiry looming, Johnson's days in office could soon be numbered. Neave, Al Jazeera, Westminster.